Barak Yah, or I might just start saying Baraka Alaykum, which means blessings upon you. Anyway, um, new moon, right? Here's what I found. This is a very interesting take on it. So, you know, it was put up, you know, Exodus 12 and 2. But this will be the, first month of the year for you. Things of that nature. And I'm like, okay. But that doesn't tell me when the new moon is, though. That just tells me that this is the first month of the year. But this doesn't tell me when the new moon is and what it should look like. But here's what I found very interesting. Now look at how I show you this time frame that we're in. So this is during the time frame where Masha Moses is going to, um, you know, back and forth to Pharaoh. So, because look, verse before this, but Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let Ben Israel go. So then Yahweh said to Masha, stretch out your hand toward the sky, so that darkness spreads over Mizraim, Egypt, darkness that can be felt. So it's going to be dark. All right. So Masha, Moses, stretched out his hand towards the sky, and total darkness covered all of Egypt for 3 days. Now we know that when the new quote unquote new moon happens, that will be, like they say that it's dark from it starts to go to a little crescent and it get dark, and then it's dark and then it's dark and then it starts to become that crescent again, and etc. So this is during that period, because you can see during the day, but at night you can't see because they lost their power. Who did? Egypt. They lost their power. That's why eventually he's going to say, "Oh, I casted judgment over the gods of Egypt." They lost their power. And Aleph Lamed is a power, a mighty one. That's our power. So no one could see anyone else or move about for 3 days. Yet all of Ben Israel had light in the places where they lived. See, this wouldn't be a problem. They have light in the places that they live. Like, they lost power. Like the Egyptians, we didn't. We still had quote unquote electricity. You feel me? We still had power on in our houses, whereas they did not. You feel me? At night they can't see. We could anyway. Then Pharaoh summoned Masha and said, "Go worship Yahweh." So now he's done. He's like, "Go worship them. Go ahead, go. Even your women and children may go with you, but only leave behind your flocks and your herds." And then Masha said, "You must allow us to have sacrifices and burnt offerings to present to Yahweh, our guide." Right? Our livestock too must go with us. Not a hoof is to be left behind. We have to use some of them in worshiping Yahweh Allah now. Until we get there, we will not know what we are to use to worship Yahweh. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he was not willing to let him go. All right. So look, this is in the midst of this. All right. So it's in the midst of this darkness. So he in the midst of this darkness, Pharaoh all right, go ahead, bro. So it's in the middle of this 3 days of darkness that this is happening. On this third day of darkness. All right, this is when this is happening. Pharaoh said to Masha, "Get out of my sight. Make sure you don't appear before me again. The day you see my face, you're going to die." He just as you say, my boy. I'll never appear before you again. Word, say that. Say no more, my boy. So now he left, that's in the chapter. He left that situation. This same day, they just had this heated argument. He yo, how come y'all got power and we don't? What you up to, my boy? All right, get out of here then, bro. I don't want. Matter of fact, if you ain't about to just take just your people, leave everything else. Masha no, I'm not leaving everything else. How we going to sacrifice to Yahweh if we're going to have no, that makes no sense. We're going to go with everything. There's no one left behind. No one and nothing. We're taking all that is ours, whether you like it or not. I'm not asking you a question. These are the answers. And then Pharaoh's that's how it is? Get out my sight, because next time I see you, it's on sight, my boy. And then Masha said, "Oh yeah? Say that. Say that then. Say no more. Say less." And then, Exodus 11, he says, Yahweh said to, this is a short chapter, by the way. Yahweh, Waya Amar al Masha, he said to Masha, "I will bring upon Para'ah, Pharaoh, in Mizraim, Ahad, Arwad, Naga." One more nigga. Not Naga. Let me not. But it says one more plague. When though? When is this plague going to happen? From when they had this heated exchange. When did this happen? Right? After that, he will allow you to leave this place. And when he lets you go, he will drive you out completely. So when will this plague take place? Tell the people that the men and the women alike are to ask their neighbors for articles of silver and gold. Right? And Yahweh made the Egyptians, Mizraim, favorably disposed towards the people, and Mashah himself was highly regarded in Mizraim by Pharaoh's officials and by the people. And Mashah said, "This is what Yahweh says." So when this is going to take place, about midnight, I will go throughout Mizraim. So right after that 3-day period of when it got dark, as soon as it's about to be the crescent moon, that night when there's a crescent moon, right? Or right before there, right? It's in the 3-day period of total darkness, right? So now about midnight, this is what Yahweh says. About midnight, all right? The division, the middle of the month. I will go throughout Mizraim, right? And every firstborn son in the land of Mizraim will die. From the firstborn of Para'ah, who sits on the throne, to the firstborn of the servant girl, behind the handmill. He talking about somebody in particular. He hilarious. Like the firstborn, the servant girl behind the handmill. Dang, like this is hilarious, yo. He telling you the people in particular that definitely Pharaoh who sits on the throne. And she rubbed me the wrong way too. That servant girl that's on the handmill, I ain't beat for her either. So I definitely want it's done up as well as the firstborn of all the cattle. He done up, bro. Like that's inspired my like they was wilding, bro. Like that's hilarious. They shouldn't be messing up. Right. Then a great cry will go out over the land. So Agadala Za'aqa wa Hayatha Bakal Aratz Mizraim. All right. So then a great cry will go out over the land of Mizraim, such as never has been heard before and never will be heard again. All right. So we see here that we're talking from a time frame. But among all Benai, all the Benai, not even a dog will snarl at man or beast. Then you'll know that Yahweh makes a distinction, Yapala. All right, to be separated distinction between Mizraim and Yashara'el. Okay. All these officials of yours will come and bow before me, saying, "Go, you and all the people who follow you. After that, I will depart." And hot with anger, Mashah left Para'ah's presence. So think about this. This is all, excuse me, this is still happening in his presence. It's still the same moment. So now think about this. He said around midnight, this was going to happen. So he told him immediately. He was like, yo, yeah, say no more. Then that means that Yahweh is taking everything from you. Have fun. And then he left his presence. Angry. Hot. He said, all these officials of yours will come and bow down before me, saying, Za'a, Atha Wakal Ha'am, Ashar, Ba Ragalayak, Acharai, Khan, Adza'a Bacharai, Ap, Wayadza'a Para'a Ma'am. All right? Word. Now, he departed hot. The word hot is charai. All right? Charai. Or yahar. Okay? To be hot. In this case right here. Anyway. Then Yahweh said to Mashah, Para'ah will not listen to you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Mizraim. All right? Mashah and Aharon did all these wonders before Para'ah, but Yahweh hardened Para'ah's heart so that he would not let Benai Yisrael go out of his land. And so then that is like the end of that chapter. So that means that this all happened. So we see from the end of Exodus 10, when it was dark, okay? When it was dark, moon was dark, sky was dark. They couldn't move around in the dark. But yet they was, like Mashah was talking to Para'ah in his place. You feel me? But they wasn't talking, I don't think they was talking in the dark. Because it was daytime. It was about to be nighttime. And they was mad, like, yo, we lost our power. What y'all up to? Why we can't like X, Y, and Z. Like, all right, go ahead, bro. Like so now they mad, and then he left them. So now here we go. And Yahuwah said to Masha and Naharan and Mizraim, this month is to be for you the first month of your year. All right. So this Ha-Chadash, this new moon, right? They say new moon, is the beginning of months for you, right? But then we just saw that Yah is going out there at midnight, that night. So the new moon could not be when it's dark out, because Yah is going out that night when it's dark out, not when the moon is shining out. Because if it was, then it wouldn't be dark out. This month is the beginning of months for you, because when Yah first made the moon, it was a lesser light, quote unquote, than the sun. You feel me? It wasn't black. It wasn't a black moon. It was the moon in all its full shine, but that's just not as much as the sun is. But it rules over the night. You see, it rules over the night. But during that night, it was just total darkness, because Yah showed you the distinction. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he just showing you the distinction of what happens. Like, and think about it, they have their moon gods and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. So when there's no moon in the sky, he's showing you, like, yo, where's your God to save you now that you so trust in? Like, you feel me? Like Yah is like, where's your moon God now? Oh, the moon is out. See how your God is weak? That it depends on the like, you see what I'm saying? Like, word, that's how you get after him. Anyway. This month is the beginning of months for you. It shall be the first, the head, Ra'ashawan, all right, month of your year. Mind you, this right now what I'm about to describe to you is mind blowing. Everything that he's about to describe is only for moving forward, because they didn't have the time to do all of this time around, because Yah was going out that evening. So they're going to have to slaughter a lamb. When do you slaughter the lamb? You slaughter the lamb on the evening of the Passover, right? But it's dark out for Pharaoh and them, but not for us though. And think about it, they getting ready to leave out that night. You feel me? So if they're getting ready to leave out, then think about it. No, they're not allowed to leave out that night though, per se. But they're getting ready to leave out in a bubble car, which is the next day. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the back half of the month, the moon goes like this. When it's quote unquote full, that's the new moon. It's refreshed, it's renewed. And then you see it go through this little phase of like, all right, it's going through its phase where it's getting weaker and weaker and dimmer. But then in the middle of the month, it loses its power. But then on the back half of the month, it's getting back to its once its splendor that it once had type junk, and then it's renewed. Like it's you, and that's why the crescent moons face the ways that it do, because it's telling you what half of the month you're on. You feel me? Like, word. But then otherwise, just let you know. Tell the whole community of Yisrael that on the 10th day of this month, each man is to take a lamb for his family, each for his household. They didn't get a chance to do that this year because Yah's going out that evening, that midnight. If any household, this is going forward, this is for us now. If any household is too small for a whole lamb, they must share one with their nearest neighbor. Just telling you what to do moving forward, right? The animals you choose must be a year old, males without the defect, and you may take them from the sheep or the goats. Let you know going forward. Like, take care of them until the 14th day. So that we're telling you what day we on now. That, actually, we on the beginning of this 3-day darkness period right here. Because it says, because mind you, this is directly after the conversation where Yahuwah said to Masha to stretch out your hand over Mizraim. Right? This is the same day. He said, stretch over your hands over Mizraim, and then it's going to be dark for 3 days. And then this is what happens. And then now Pharaoh is like, yo, like, get out of here then. Like I don't want to hear any of this, blah, blah, blah. And then that night, he's going out for, to slaughter the people. And this is on the you see what I'm saying? Like, take care of them to the 14th day. That's when it'll be like that's when the darkness started. 14th, 15th, 16th days of the month. New moon is the quote unquote full moon. And then this is the middle of the month here. Take care of them until the 14th day of the month, when all of the members of the community of Yisrael must slaughter them at twilight. When it's twilight, twilight is in the evening. The word twilight here is probably going to be Irab, which means, let me see, Ha'arabayim, the evening, Irab, all right? The in-between time, the evening. So that was during the day that Masha was talking to Pharaoh. Now at night, they cannot see. How? But I thought the darkness was over the land for 3 days. Oh yeah, at night. Then they ought to take some of the blood and put it on the sides and the tops of the door frames of the houses where they eat the lambs, right? But going forward into and that night. That same night they are to eat the meat roasted over the fire along with the bitter herbs and the bread made without yeast. Why though? We're gonna tell you why. Do not eat the meat raw or boiled in water, but roast it over a fire with the head, legs, and internal organs, right? Just let you know. Do not leave any of it until the babakar, right? Wala thawa thayarau. Excuse me. Thawa thayarau. Do not leave or to jut over, exceed, or excel. Any of it until bakar or before bakar, you must, burn it up. Any part that's left over. Okay, this is how you are to eat it: with your cloak tucked in your belt, sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. It is Yah's Passover. It's Pesach. Why? Because you are to commemorate when we first left. This is how you are to, like, telling you moving forward. This is how to do it. On that same night. See now, on that same night, I will pass through the land of Mizraim and strike down every firstborn male, both man and beast, and I will execute judgment against all the gods of Mizraim. I am Yahweh, right? That same night. This is talking to you from, he's telling you what to do going forward because of why on that very same night, this is what happened. The blood on the houses where you are staying will distinguish them. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. No plague will fall over you to destroy you when I strike the land of Mizraim. This is a day you are to commemorate. This is moving forward. For the generations to come, you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahweh, a lasting ordinance. He's telling you this is what to come going forward. This is how they do it. For 7 days, right? But this is telling you what you're going to do in the future. But then eventually he's going to tell you why. Like what inspired these events at the latter part of this chapter. Watch. For 7 days you are to eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, remove the yeast from your house. For whoever eats anything with yeast in it from the first day through the seventh must be cut off from your Yisrael. Just moving forward. He just told you that. The verse prior to that one. On the first day, hold a sacred assembly, and another one on the seventh day. Do not work at all on these days except to prepare food for everyone to eat. This is all you may do. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread because it was on this day. Mind you, Bnei Yisrael have not left yet. This has, like, the Passover has not happened yet. This is just telling you, like, yeah, because of what y'all about to do, here, the Masha is already, like, planning how to celebrate what Yah is about to do. He's thanking Yah in advance by getting this whole idea about how to do this Passover to commemorate him for this service that he's about to do for us. So he's saying, we're going to do this service for you. Literally what the chapter about to say. Word, watch. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread because it was on this very day that I brought your divisions out of Mizraim. Celebrate this day as a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. In the first month, you are to eat bread made without yeast. From the evening of the 14th day until the evening of the 21st day, right? For 7 days, no yeast is to be found in your houses. And anyone without foreigner or native born who eats anything with yeast in it, must be cut off from the community of Yisrael. Eat nothing made with yeast wherever you live. You must eat unleavened bread. Then, so after he gave the whole entire ordinance, this is what happened next. Then Masha summoned all of the elders of Yisrael and said to them, go at once and select the animals for your families and slaughter the Passover lamb, because they are on the 14th evening. All that he was just telling you to do is like, yo, here's what we're gonna do moving forward. All right, now go slaughter your lambs. Word. That's exactly what just happened. That's exactly what just happened. Then he goes on to say, go at once, right? Then Moshe summoned all of Yisrael and told the elders, the Zapanai of Yisrael, Vayamar Alaham Mashakau Wa Kahau Lakam Za'an. All right? So go select for yourselves a lamb for each family and slaughter the Ha-Pasach, the Passover lamb. The pre-termission. So that means this has happened before. This is how they had to do it that night. Because this is what they had to do. He's telling you what we're going to do, but he's telling you, now he's about to tell you what they had to do. Take a cluster of hyssop, dip it into the blood in the basin, and brush the top and the two side posts of the door frame with some of the blood. None of you shall go out the door of his house until Bakar. Okay? When Yahuwah passes through, so this still didn't happen yet. So this is the 14th night. So he's telling you, go at once, go do this. Because this is the it's about to be. It's not even evening yet. It's about to be evening, because that's why he's telling you to go select the lamb so you can get ready to do this. Wow. Then Yahuwah passes through to strike down the Mizraim. When Yahuwah passes through to strike down Mizraim, he will see the blood on the door, on the top of the door, and the side post, and pass over the door. So he will not allow the destroyer, Mashachayath, all right, perhaps go to ruin, to enter your houses to strike you down. And you are to keep this command as a perpetual ordinance for you and your descendants. When you enter the land that Yahuwah will give you, as he promised, observe this ceremony. Technically, this is only supposed to be observed in the land. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, don't do it, because I observe it, because it's a lasting ordinance. But it's mainly for when we are in the land that we can do it to our fullness. We can do it to the best of our abilities here in this defiled land, when we can't slaughter our own lamb and we have to buy it from the store. And we got to just sit there and say, oh, I hope that he accepts this. Keep the 10 Commandments. That's what he's obsessed with. Okay? He's obsessed with people who keep the 10 Commandments. Because if you could keep that, then your heart is already inclined to be the best that you can be towards not just yourself, but to others, but to the Creator as well, first and foremost. Because he's like, yo, these first 4 commandments are for me. The last 6 are for people and how you interact with them. Anyway, when you enter the land that Yahuwah will give you as he promised, observe the ceremony. And when your children ask you, what does this ceremony mean to you? Then tell them, it is the Pesach sacrifice to Yahuwah, who passed over the houses of Benai Yisrael and Mizraim, and spared our homes when he struck down the Egyptians, the Mizraim. Then the people bowed down and worshipped. So look, and then Benai Yisrael did just what Yahuwah commanded to Moshe and Aharon to do. And at midnight, okay. Now at midnight, Yahuwah struck down every firstborn male in the land of Mizraim, from the firstborn of Para'ah, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon, and as well as the firstborn among the livestock. And then Pharaoh and all his officials and all the Egyptians got up and during the night, okay, and there was a loud wailing in Mizraim, for there was not a house without someone dead. During the night, Para'ah, Pharaoh, summoned Moshe and Aharon, Moses and Aaron, said, up, leave my people, you and the Israelites, go worship Yahuwah as you have requested. So look, this is now, there was evening, and then there was, like that night, because they was in the day prior to that. Take your flocks and herds as you have said, and go and bless me, right? By the way, let's see what bless me is. Bless me is Wa Barakatham Athi. Okay. Then Mizraim urged the people to hurry and leave the country, for otherwise they said, we will all die. So the people took their dough before the yeast was added and carried it on their shoulders in kneading troughs and wrapped in clothing. Ben Yasharel did as Moshe instructed and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold and for clothing, like he said to do back in Exodus 11. And then Yahuwah had the, Mizraim favorably disposed to, like it said in, Exodus 11, favorably disposed toward the people, and they gave them what they asked for, so they plundered the Egyptians in this way. And then they went to Succoth, right? They journeyed from Ramesses. Here's how you say Ramses. Ma, that's from Ramesses, all right, to Succoth. But this is Succotha. Succotha, that's what it says, okay? With about 600,000 men on foot besides women and children. So they didn't count the women and children, because then there'd probably been over a million. Right now they just told you how many men there were, like, because men were the heads of their households, so this is how many households there were. So they say with about that many, because they didn't do their census yet. That will happen in the book of Numbers anyway. And a mixed multitude, right, also went up with them, along with great droves of livestock, both flocks and herds, with the dough. So this is why they had to do the unleavened bread thing, because of this situation right here. With the dough that Ben Yasharel had brought from Mizraim, they baked loaves of unleavened bread. The dough was without yeast because they had been driven out of Mizraim and did not have time to prepare food for themselves. You see what I'm saying? This is the reason why it happened. I'm not making this up. This is what it says. Now, the length of the time that Ben Yasharel lived in Mizraim was 430 years. And at the end of that 430 years, to the very day, all of Yahuwah divisions left Mizraim. Okay? Because Yahuwah kept vigil that night to bring them out of Mizraim. On this night, all of Ben Yasharel are to keep vigil to honor Yahuwah for the generations to come. So now it's setting up the beginning of that conversation again about, that's why we gotta do this in the future, because of what's going on right now in the present. You see what I'm saying? Then Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aharon, these are the regulations for the Passover meal. No foreigner may eat it. Any slave you have brought may eat it after you have circumcised them, but a temporary resident or a hired worker may not eat it. So that means they're not invited to the cookout. It must be eaten inside the house. Take none of the meat outside the house. Do not break any of the bones. The whole community of Yisrael must celebrate it. A foreigner residing among you who wants to celebrate Yah's Passover must have all the males in his household circumcised. Then he may take part like one born in the land. No uncircumcised male may eat it. The same law applies to both the native born and the foreigner residing among you. And all of Yisrael did just what Yahuwah had commanded Moshe and Aharon. Now look at this next verse. And on that very day, Yahuwah brought the Israelites out of Mizraim by their divisions. And now we saw earlier that it said that he brought us out on the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And that was in that chapter. Consecrate to me every firstborn male, this, that, and the third. Commemorate this day, the day you came out of, the land of slavery, with Yahuwah brought, you out of it with a mighty hand. Eat nothing containing yeast. So this is the first day of unleavened bread. Like, mind you, the moon was just dark though for 3 days. And that very night, y'all went out. It wasn't even just dark. It was about to be dark for 3 days. And then that very night took him out of there. You feel me? Now, that's just what it says. So from that, I will conclude that the new moon is what we call the full one, because that's the only time that it's given, like that's how it was when it first was created. The moon gave its full light. It didn't give its darkness. It gave its full light. That's the new moon. Like, that's when the moon was made new. And then it renews to that cycle every month. But yeah, Barak Yah or Barak Alaikum.